Welcome back to Satisfactory. In today's episode we're out at the oil refinery and the plan is to set up some fuel generators. Now I've already done the preliminary planning for where the pipelines are supposed to go and so forth, but as usual I would like to involve the actual construction of the various components in the process with you guys. I have done a little bit of redesigning out here. And let's go pick up the car so that I can show that before we get to business with working on the refinery section. It shouldn't be all that too far. I'm not sure why I parked it over there. I brought some necessary resources with me, and I also have a chest, a regular storage chest, standing over here. It's the one we're driving towards now, where I have more of these resources that is necessary for the refineries, and I also have a chest there with some other stuff. Okay, so the ramp now goes down this way, and I had to remove some vegetation. The pipeline, I've changed the design of the pipeline so that instead of having a space between the pipes, I now have all of the pipes going on the same well, not on the same, but they have just, there's no space between them. Geez, that was hard. I have the pumps out here instead of having them near the base because it looks better to have them stacked like that, I think. And I've also prepared the pipeline for the two normal oil nodes. And by my calculations, I think I need to run both of them at 125% and then join them up together. One of them is out there and the other one is behind there. You can see the dark spot in the water there. Nothing much else has changed out here except for the most distant oil extractor over there. The pipe goes up one higher and that's about it. So not major changes, but it did take me a fair amount of time to place down the foundations for the fuel refinery part of the refinery. And yes, I'm quite aware of the fact that that thing is floating in mid-air and has no logical and rational anchor. I will get around to that at some point, but it's not exactly what I would desire. Dane? Let's just use a simpler word here. It's not exactly what I would categorize as high priority. And can I please drive through here? Apparently not. So, oh my god. Those trees have some very bizarre hitboxes. Okay, there we are. Might have to de-vegetate this island after all. Out of pure annoyance. We can park the car here. And I do apologize if I... exactly, if I cough a little bit in this episode. My throat is still not perfect, so yeah. Okay, so the recipes we'll be using in this process, we have a couple of alternatives here. We have the basic fuel recipe. This one takes 60 crude oil per minute and turns that into 40 fuel and 30 polymer resin per minute per refinery. The other way we could go about this is through using the alternate recipe for heavy oil residue, which would take 30 crude oil per minute and output 40 heavy oil residue and 20 polymer resin per minute. And then we could use that and convert that to residual fuel. But this takes 60 heavy oil residue and turns it into 40 fuel. So what I calculated there is that we would have one additional refinery making fuel, and we would have to add a bunch of the refineries doing heavy oil residue. 30, we would have to have 10 of these. So that would actually be less efficient than just doing the basic recipe for fuel. That is for now, because there are other alternate recipes that we're going to find eventually. But yeah. Let's just place down the refineries we need. We want 5 of these. Like so. And this is the pipeline that the main crude oil is going to come in from. Then we place down the pipeline junction crosses. There is one thing that I should do, actually, that I've completely forgotten. We'll get back to that. Let's just do default for now. Hello, pipe. Is it that difficult to connect to the correct spot? And there we go, and then the final one. Then we need to go to vertical mode and connect up the various pipelines to the refineries. Like so. Now in this we are going to need an awesome sink somewhere. But I haven't decided where I want to put that, so we'll get back to that when it is necessary. And now we can snap to the pipeline junction cross on the other side, so this is a bit faster. But that is not faster. This pipeline will carry the fuel. We were in vertical mode, but I think the vertical mode, if you build a straight pipe... How does it even do that? I mean, seriously? There is an update coming to fluids very soon. I'm kind of eager about that update, and I'm very curious to see what that update will bring. So what I've done here is that I've designated the foundations underneath here, and I built the underneath foundations. But I'll leave the area here open. There is room underneath there if I want to put down water extractors. If I had the rotors for it, of course. So they can be placed under there. And I could clip the water pipelines through glass foundations. But I haven't decided where I want to have the water extractors for when we get to that part. We also need some power to these refineries, and the power is on that line. Am I allowed to place down the power poles before I'm missing wire? Wire, of all things. Well, gee. Of all things to forget. Well, I guess we're gonna have a quick trip into the mall, and I can do the other thing that I wanted to do as well. Well done, Caledorn. Yeah, you just stay there. If you're too quick when you do that move, you actually drive over yourself. I got a comment today that is relevant. The radio signal scanning in the MAM. If you research that, you get the option to find the drop pods using the object scanner. And that might be useful if you don't want to use the online map services for finding the drop pods, but be aware of the fact that the object scanner is not 100% reliable at all times. So occasionally I've noticed that the object scanner will say that an object is somewhere, and the signal from the object scanner is showing that you're standing right on top of whatever it is you're looking for, and in reality it's like 100 meters or 50 meters to your something wire. Let's grab a stack of that. I should also add another stack of cable, I think. Anything else that I can see here that I don't have? Yeah, I should grab a stack of rotors just in case. I don't think I need them, but they are nice to have. The other thing that I wanted to do was send off the drop pod, since it takes 15 minutes to come back for the tier 6 stuff. So, and I wanted to send off the drop pod for the trains. Let's go here, tier 6 monorail, select milestone. I think we have some of these. 50 of those, 50 of those. Put in these. That means we need to go grab a stack of computers for our personal use. I think we need the computers for building the fuel generators themselves. But there we have that. Our power should be down a bit now. Oh no, it's not. Not at all, actually. So we need to go up here. I haven't made a storage facility for these things yet, because these are not permanent, because I want to switch to the Caterium computer and I want to switch to the alternate recipe for these. Let's grab 2 stacks of that. Steel pipes. I need beams, so we'll take 5 stacks of beams. That should suffice. Steel pipes, we need 6 stacks of that. Put that one back, and I grab another 2 additional stacks, because I can grab 3 additional stacks, because we're going to need steel pipes. Now, the trains are going to be an experimentation process for me, as I've mentioned before, so I'm going to have to work on that off camera before I actually start building them. But here we go.
Milestone reached. A new set of buildings and vehicles needed for long-range transportation has been made available. In addition to built-in power conduction, rails-based transit ensures increased efficiency and reliability for both the transport of pioneers and cargo.
Thank you, Ada. Now, the next milestone that I want to take after this is the alternative fluid transport, which gives us the ability to make canisters and packaged fuel. And then we want one alternative recipe for diluted packaged fuel, which combines water and heavy oil, rather heavy oil residue, into packaged fuel. And that is the most efficient way of getting fuel. The jetpack, I'd like to get that as well, specifically for the inventory slots, as I've mentioned several times now. Okay, so I think we have enough stuff. Yep. So let's go back to the refinery and build the rest of the stuff that we need to build there. Hopefully this episode won't be 1 hour long. And I do love the hypertubes. They are extremely useful. There we go. Now the power poles. They are on here. And they should be centered. Can I now place a glass foundation there? Yes. Good. Okay. There we go. And this has 2 out of 4 connections, so it does not need to be upgraded. No. Getting power lines that do not clip with the refineries is a challenge, so I would encourage you to not be too obsessive about the clipping with the power poles. Then again, I have not been obsessive with power pole clipping at all in this series, so I happily let them clip through the lifts, and I have absolutely no issue with that whatsoever. Now we need the foundations here. Now, I think I might have done a mistake in placing down the pipelines on the other side before I placed down the foundations, because I'm going to need foundations for the belts. Well, not necessarily, I can just use lifts, but I do need mergers, so... But we'll get back to that as well. Now... When we go down into the subsection here, one thing that I need to mention is that this pipeline, which will be the third one coming in, is the one that's going to go in there. Because otherwise I would have a pipe clipping through, and that's not desirable at all. Here we have oil coming in here. Do the oil come into that pipe? Yes, it does. Good. It should have started producing, though. Do I need another pump, I wonder? Fuel. 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 And fuel. No, I think it's working. Yep, it's working. We don't need another pump. Hooray. The flow rate... Yeah, there we go. Now the flow rate is at the level it should be. This means that we are now getting fuel into these pipes here, which is exactly what we wanted. And the next step now is to deal with the resin. Where should I put the sink? First of all, then, I need to take down these pipes. I wonder if I should just use the... No. I could use the clip through the foundation thing. I mean, it actually looks... that was in default mode, I think. Yeah, it was. I could use this trick. It doesn't look bad. But then I should do the same over there. Then again, what's happened over there is a temporary arrangement. I think I'll actually use the clip through the glass foundation trick, because it looks good. Look at me clipping like a madman. Might have to do it on the other side as well. Wait. No. Is that correct? Of course it's not correct. These are not correct either. I'll fix that between episodes, because I'd like the beams in here, I'd like those to be uniform. And they're supposed to go from north to south. So it's kind of weird that it has to be the opposite way of the shadow to get the beam. But that's not a big concern. Okay, we need mergers here. That seems to be online with the mergers. That can't be correct. Oh, the mergers here are on this line. So 1, 2, 3. I think I need to take them that way. Let's just see here. That connects. Good. I don't know if height 3 is the correct height that I want this on. I might want to take it up to height 4. But that's something that we'll have to look at after I've placed down the sink. The belt can come out here. I'll put a glass foundation here so that I remember where I am. That means that we can put a sink. Can I center this thing? I'm gonna need a lookout tower to do that. I want it centered on the... There we go. Then I have to mess it up. Ah, it can't be centered. Okay. I'll put it there then. Just to ensure that I have enough space here. And we need a splitter. Is that too close? Yes. I think I'll go up to height... I might want to drive here, since the ramp for driving down is there. Yeah, I'll go up to height 4. Or rather, that would be height 3 on the stackable conveyors, but height 4 on these. So we're making 30, 60, 150, which means we're going to need Mark III belts for this. The lifts are fine. Really? Have I done all of them wrong? Yep, I have. Okay, well, let's redo it then. They need to snap to that line, not that line. I don't even know what that line is. There we go. And there we go, and then we can dismantle these mergers. I don't think there's anything we want to use the polymer resin for currently, except for just putting it into a sink. Let's see. Polymer resin, we could make residual plastic if we added it up with water. We could also make residual rubber. We need 60 polymer resin per minute and 20 water for 20 plastic. That's actually an awful conversion rate, so I'm not even going to bother with that. Since we're getting 150, we could have a whopping 40 extra plastic. Wow. And for the rest of these, oh, that might be useful. That's actually very interesting. It requires water though, but getting fabric automated, that's something that's worth looking into. It would mean that I'd have to get a water pipe up though. I'm not sure about that, because I'm going to have it run the pipe down here. I could run the water pipe parallel to this one. How would that work though? This one is, that would be 1, 2, 3, I think. I'm pretty sure it would be 3, because if I place one closer than that, and then I place one here, I'm pretty certain that the pipe is going to... Well, it isn't. Well, it is, yeah. So it would have to be 3 away. That's actually very, very tempting, I must confess. Go into default build mode. Okay, let's just go there. And it's just easier to have a pipeline junction cross than it is to build a turn or a bend. But it should snap with that one as well. Oh well, I think it's on that one. It is not. So there, I think. Is that correct? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, that is correct. So there. And we connect that up to this one, and then this one connects up to this one. And that should bring the fuel into the generators. They don't have a connection yet. Is the fuel in the pipeline here? Yep, there is. But as long as they're not connected, there won't be any reaction, which is fine. So if I wanted to have a refinery doing fabric, it would probably have to be parallel to this one. And that's not ideal. Because this needs the resin to come in. So I would actually have to build the output parallel to the, or the input parallel to the sink. I think that is parallel. I don't envision that I'm going to need more than one full container of fabric, so this can be a temporary setup. Although getting the water up is going to be annoying for a temporary setup, but it's fine. I want the water to come up here. Let's have a glass foundation there. And I'll go down there and do the water afterwards. So what we need to do then is place down a splitter. That way. 3. And 4. And then we have to go for the... Yeah, I'm going to need a couple more of the glass foundations. Let's place them correctly this time. There we go. And then, let's see here, a stackable conveyor pole, just place one there. I think I want to double check. There would be the correct one. So this would be the angle, and then I can place... That's not ideal at all. I'm going to have to place it there, actually. And that belt... Oh, I need one more. That belt should give... no, it doesn't need one more. That belt is correct. Let's remove the stackable conveyor poles here. And we need a Mark III belt running these resin things. 2, 3, and 4. This one goes out there and then connects up to that one, and then that connects up to this one. And I'll just put a Mark III lift here. And this one requires 80 per minute, so we'll put a Mark II lift here. And we can remove the additional splitters from both of these. Very good. Now to get the water up. We'll get back to that. Why didn't I connect that one? Bad Caledorn. Bad Caledorn. Vertical. There we go. Okay, so now the next conundrum here is, where do I want to place the power poles? Aha. That was easier than I thought. I want to place them on that one. And then on the other side, it should be equally as simple, because these I have done something that I normally don't do with, and I'll show that shortly. I seem to... yeah, that's why I haven't done that. Let's place down a lookout tower, because that is required for what we're doing here. And we jump right past the tower instead of taking the ladder, because I am absolutely... completely not being able to do correct motions today. So I want the fuel generators to be centered like that. And we need 13.33 of the fuel generators, so I'll build 14 of them. I hope I have enough foundations for that. Snapline, please. Thank you. That would be 3. I'm not sure I have enough foundations. I'm also not sure if I placed that one correctly. More lookout towers. And the ladder is, of course, on the final side that I'm looking at. What else is new? It does look correct. There. And there, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there should be enough room. But I think I might need to go pick up more... Yep, I do. Need more rubber, and I need more heavy modular frames. And I also need to go pick up Caterium wire. Yay. I think I'll pause the recording before I do that. I don't think I have any Caterium wire with me. Nope. That's fine though. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 2 more. Let's do the exit pipe on the correct side, shall we? There. And 7. Placing down now will be far easier and won't require the lookout towers, because now I can just copy and look for the snap lines. That's the correct location. That's the correct location. And now I need quick wire. So I shall return very shortly. There we go. Didn't see anything else I needed, so I happily picked up the quick wire and went back here. That's the correct location. That's the correct location. Now I need some rubber, but that's over here, so that's at least not a long way to go. I think I might need some motors as well. I'll pick up a stack just in case. I think I dropped down a stack of them in here. No, actually I didn't. That's touch and go there with the rubber, but it's not a big deal since I have rubber behind there. Can take these 2 stacks. Let's drive over there in case I have to go over and pick up stuff again. But I think we should be fine. 50 rubber for each makes 100, and 2 is what we need to build. Okay, where is the snap lines today? There's one of them. Am I in the completely wrong location here? There we go. Precision mouse button is good. Okay. Now we need to remove foundations here. And I won't be able to use the pretty half pipe thing here. Well, I could. Yeah, I can. Never mind. I can. So we need to do that as well. I needed to place down the generators first. I'm doing this carefully because I don't want to start messing around with placing down the fuel generators all over again. There we go. And now the question is, what have I used? I have used those. For some reason, I seem to not have one underneath these, and I don't know why. This might be a bad idea. Can I now place those here? No, because they are now... Oh, I can. Oh, good. That would have been slightly annoying if I couldn't do that. When you've placed down as many foundations as I have just in this single game, you kind of get the technique in for placing down a lot of them at once. But it doesn't always work, especially with the thin foundations like glass. It doesn't work at all. And I keep making mistakes and I have to redo, and yeah. But it's easy with the large pipes, or large foundations, like the quarter pipe, for instance. They are big enough that it isn't a problem. The only challenge with them is that they have a tendency to turn. There we go. Yeah, see? Randomly just decides to... I don't want to be the same way as the other one, so I'll turn around. And I don't understand why. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, there we are. Okay, so this one is running now, actually. Makes a very distinct sound, I should say. So the next thing now would be to do the pipeline junction crosses. And it does snap. Can't afford because I lack copper sheets. I think I have copper sheets. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pause the recording while I go back and fetch that in the base. And it does seem that this episode will be an hour after all. No matter how much you plan, there's always something that goes wrong in the planning. In this instance, I've probably spent far too many minutes fetching things, even with the pausing. Do I have copper sheets in here? I don't think that's going to be enough. Do I have any over here? Well, we can do that, and then I can, if I need more, I can pause and come back. Boom. We continue doing this. Keep in mind that you can stand on the half pipes, which saves you a little bit of time, especially when you're dealing with things standing like these generators are, like on the angle here, because I haven't placed down the foundations yet. I'm pretty sure that this isn't going to be enough copper sheets. Yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not going to be enough. There we go. I shall pause the recording while I go pick up some more of those copper sheets. And here we are. I just need to change the scene manually, like so. I brought enough copper sheets, and I think I'll leave some in a chest out here, actually. So now we have to place down these foundations, and I want them to be the correct way, which is this one. Good. Yeah, getting them to snap is slightly difficult. There we go. And then this pipe goes into vertical mode and connects to that one. And this pipe connects to this one. Okay. Like so. Then more foundations is required. And there it randomly decided to go the other way around. There. Like so. And that one goes into that one. I really like the 8x1 foundations in terms of the aesthetics, but they are kind of a bother to work with from time to time because they're so thin that when you're working with the large 8x4 foundations, it's really simple to place them down, but you see these weird snappings going on, and when you want to place like hundreds of them, it's very difficult to hit the correct angle at a distance, and you place them on top of one another and all kinds of things. So the glass foundations and the 8x1 foundations, they do require a bit of practice to work with, and even with practice you'll still make mistakes. That is one of the reasons why I normally don't record foundation work on camera. Did that go the right way? Yes, it did. Because it takes a lot of time, actually. And it's not that interesting to look at. And there's a limit to what kind of interesting topics I can talk about. This one goes there. And then this one goes to that one. But I'm really glad for the tip about pipes being able to clip through the 8x1 foundations, because it looks really nice. And I never thought that I would say clipping looks nice, but here we are. Oh, come on. There we go. And that's all of them connected up. So now we have to do the power poles. I guess we can start here. I just need to make sure that I don't fall down into the water. Oh. Okay, so it's on that one then. I'm not sure if that one's correct, but that's definitely not correct, so... When the game autosaves and you're on an edge, drop the key immediately or you're almost certainly going to fall off the edge. And then we do the power line connections here. Interesting sounds. Let's set this at 33%. And then we go over to the other side and we do the same here. There we go, and let's connect up these power poles to one another. I don't want to connect it to the main power grid just yet. That's not right. Why did I place a power pole there? That doesn't even make sense. I have no idea what I thought when I placed down that power pole. It's supposed to be there. Vroom. No, that's not right. That's better. Okay, all of them are connected up now. This gives us a capacity of 2013.9 megawatts. I believe all of them are running. Yep. It's burning 15 cubic meters per minute, and we're producing 200, and 200 divided by 15 is 13.33. So let's connect that up to the main power line network. And we have a capacity of 4,411. Which helps a lot. That power pole can connect to the Awesome Sink, and we are now starting to use the resin, which is good. Let's put that in there. I don't have enough concrete to finish up these overlay foundations currently, and I also want to switch this to the glass foundation with a pipe clipping through. I want to do the same over here. I do have some concrete somewhere here, but I'm probably going to need a lot more than what I have. No, I don't have any concrete at all here. But I think this looks better, even with the clipping, although it looks a bit weird when it clips through the steel beam, but that's not a problem. I think it looks better than this. Although this gives this a little bit more of an industrial look, but you can fall down, and I'd rather not fall down. If I want to go down there, I'd rather use the walkway that I've built to go down into the I don't know, the underworks. So we're down here. Or I can always just remove a foundation, which does not have a pipe through it, mind you, and I can get down here that way. However, I think that we can round off the episode here. This is a basic, regular setup using no alternate recipes currently. The only alternate recipe that I will be using here is the one for fabric. And I need to connect up the power and the water for that. But I don't think I'm going to bother recording that. I'll just place a water extractor somewhere down there, and I'll pull a pipe up, and I can show the results of that in the next episode. So, if you have any questions or comments, as per usual, please feel free to leave them in the comment section of the video, or you can join us in the Discord server. You will find the link to that in the description of the video or in the upper right part of my channel banner. So, thank you all so very much for joining me, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode.